My name is Sadie Golden. I'm a senior nursing student at Salisbury.
I'm Julia Young, and I'm also a senior nursing student.
Hi, my name is Michelle Candela. I'm also a senior nursing student at Salisbury University, and today we are here to present you our app called CarbSmart. So a little introduction, there's 37.3 million Americans, which is about 10% of the US population, that are diagnosed with diabetes. And this is a statistic from 2023, so it's very recent. Moving on to Maryland, about 481,000 adults in Maryland, which is about 10% of our population as well, have diagnosis of diabetes. At Tidal Health PRMC specifically, which is just right up the road in Salisbury, there's a 9% total readmission rate. Of this 9% of diabetics who are returning to the hospital 30 days after discharge, 40% are readmitted because of diabetes. So of this 9% being readmitted, the large majority of them are clients who have a diagnosis of diabetes and are coming back with diabetes-related complications. So our specific problem is increased readmission rates for clients with diabetes mellitus related to their deficit in knowledge in diabetes diet education upon discharge. So whether this diet or deficit in knowledge is because they're not provided with enough information or because they just simply don't understand it, that's our specific problem. The opportunity gap is going to be a lack of education regarding diet adherence and meal planning for clients with diabetes. And a study that we looked at found that during a 24-month period, only 42% of diabetic clients received guidance about self-care, which includes your diet and meal planning, from a healthcare professional, and this is just simply not enough. Only 35.1% of the individuals also reported taking care of their diet 5 or more times during the week, which is again just not enough. So although we are focusing on deficit of knowledge, we are currently aware that major readmission risk factors include socio-demographic factors like age, gender, race, and ethnicity, as well as insulin use, comorbidities, which are concurrent diagnoses, and type of insurance. These are non-modifiable risk factors, therefore they cannot be changed or controlled by the individual, which is why we are specifically focusing on a deficit of knowledge, because this is something that healthcare professionals are in control of, and this is something that we can improve.
So for our solution, we have come up with an app. It's called CarbSmart, and basically it's going to provide gradual changes in the patient's diet, including specific meals and recipes that are client specific based on their caloric needs, their comorbidities. So if they have diabetes, they might also have hypertension or high cholesterol or things like that. And it also takes into account their cultural preferences, because this can significantly impact the types of foods that they can eat. So some of the features of our app include being able to scan food items that it can tell them if it's good to eat on a diabetic diet or not. It can include recipes that they can make to meet their caloric needs, track their meals. They can log their blood glucose as they go on, log like any exercises they do, because diet and exercise go hand in hand. And it's also going to be in patient-friendly language, so depending on their reading level, we want to make sure that they can understand it, because that's a big thing, not understanding like the discharge information that they're getting about their diet. And also it is going to be provided in multiple languages, especially Haitian Creole. In this area, that's a big population of people, and not a lot of things are included or are in that language specifically. So the app, medical providers are going to input this information for the client. This helps increase the accuracy of the data rather than the client putting it in themselves, because that can create a risk of not having the accurate information in there and them not having the right things in terms of their diet. So the client is going to be provided with the app at discharge and set it up with the healthcare provider, anybody that is with them in the discharge process, so that they have it when they go home. And this is a collaborative effort between the patient and the provider, and it would allow for better management of their diet at home. So the primary consumer that we have established is local hospitals in Wacomico County. A lot of our research was specifically at Tidal Health with their readmission rates and for people with diabetes. And our secondary consumer would be clients with diabetes because they would be the ones that would be using this app at home after discharge. So one of the reasons this was something that we came up with was when we were doing our interviewing our primary source. She had said that she had never heard of any apps available for patients that provided recipes for clients with diabetes, which is a big thing because they need to know what they can have, you know, what kinds of things that they can make in order to successfully manage their diet.
So the difference between CarbSmart and other apps that are out there is that it is facilitated at discharge with a provider, which makes it obviously more reliable because without the provider, things can be admitted incorrectly. So then you also have the gradual diet changes, which the other apps do not provide. Glucose and exercise and meal tracking is through all apps, but it is not done with a provider being able to look at what the client or the patient is inputting. And then cultural preferences for diet aren't included in most apps. Most of the time it's just vegan and vegetarian options rather than other cultural needs. And then it'll be available in the Haitian Creole language, which is not really seen, and it's definitely a need for this area. So our value proposition formula statement is for local hospitals who want to decrease the readmission rates related to diabetes, CarbSmart is this app that provides ways for the diabetic client to effectively manage this and adhere to their diet at home. Unlike My Diabetes, which is the app that we looked at, which is currently available, just showing meal plans that provides many similar features, CarbSmart will be more reliable because it will be set up by medical providers and have the cultural preferences and no cost to the patients directly because it'll be going through the hospitals. And then in conclusion, CarbSmart, unlike the other diabetic apps, is just a better alternative for the diabetics because they won't have to worry about inputting all the data on their own, and they'll be lost in this leaving the hospital.